Alright guys, we've got war number 2 of season 24. Let's get into this. Psych! Stick around till the end to check out the cards, G. Alright, now let's get into the war. We are up against Apoco. These guys are pretty good. They finished Masters. I think they're almost always a Masters. Anyway, I'm on path 1 in section, path 1 in section 1. Got Hit Monkey, Quake, going to be using Apocalypse, and again, we've got a Mole Man on node 25. I need to take that, and unfortunately, I'm going to be taking Path 5 in Section 2, which has Rhino and Void. So I'm going to use Apocalypse for that Rhino, and then Cap for Void. Void is a medium champ, so, you know, if Cap starts to do big damage, I don't have to worry about Protect, which is the global that Apoco is running here. So, alright, we are boosting up a little bit, just doing the little baby boosts, because, frankly, I'm not worried about this Hit Monkey fight. It is a rank 3, he does hit insanely hard, and I do have to worry about Vigor here, but his health pool is so low, if I get basically a couple specials, I should be fine. So basically, that was probably not a smart idea to go for that intercept there. And then, you know, hitting into his block just to create some space and outlast that Vigor. And then just making sure that I'm nailing my evades on the SP1. So I am going to go ahead and throw this special. And, you know, so here's the thing. I'm going to be boosting really, really big for my Section 2 path with that Mole Man. And Apocalypse's health, especially boosted, is so huge. And I am running suicides here. I wanted to make sure that I got the bleed immunity for that Mole Man fight in case I screw up, and I would normally take some bleed damage. I don't have to worry about that. There I just totally mess up, get caught on dash back, which cost me some more health. But what I was going to say is, I think for this fight, because Hit Monkey's health pool is so small, I think it's probably best in the future to try to do this fight without a special 1 or special 2, so that I'm saving that recoil damage. Obviously, another component there is to make sure that I'm not getting hit. But yeah, I lose 35% of my health there, and that sucks. So here's a really fun thing. You guys see I have 2 energy up top, and it's not letting me go to the next tile. Now, I do have this segment sped up 200%, so it's twice as fast as normal speed here. But there we get the connection error. I'm like, all right, let's take a screenshot. My biggest fear right now is somehow, and it wouldn't make any sense, but somehow if I were to force close the app right now, it would like undo the Hit Monkey kill, and I would have Apocalypse at like, 30% or something really dumb. So I'm like, all right, let me just see if I can wait this out. Sometimes if you wait it out, it'll kind of correct itself. There I exit the app and I go back in, but I don't close the app, and I'm getting the connection error on the load screen, so that's always a good sign. And then I go in and it says I'm out of energy. Clearly I had 2 energy there, you guys saw. There's 2 energy, out of energy, out of energy, out of energy. It's not even regenerating any energy for me, which is crazy. So I'm like, all right, screw this. Let's force close it. We're going to go back in. This is probably going to fix it. All right, not a big deal. Main game, of course. And, yeah, we're just going to go back in. Perfect. Then what the... I have 0 in it. How the fuck does that happen? I mean, what the fuck, bro? Absolutely ridiculous. I lose the small little tiny boost. I was just going to do little tiny boost for this fight. There I recorded that segment just to make sure that it didn't happen again. But anyway, the only thing that it really had an effect on was our energy efficiency. And, that did affect our clear towards the end of the night because I basically forfeited 2 energy, which sucks. But the boosts weren't really a big deal, and actually with Apocalypse, it was kind of a blessing in disguise because, again, his health pool is so huge, and I did have I had a 10% champ boost on, so that's 10% additional health that I would have had to heal. and I at least get to save some potions. It probably saved me 1 potion there, but the scary thing is if that happens to other people, you know, let's say they've got like an invulnerability boost on, they're taking a couple fights at once, they're max boosted, and that happens to somebody, and they lose an invulnerability boost and, you know, a 30% boost or something like that you can only get through cash deals. Like, I mean, that's probably the most ridiculous bug that I've ever seen. And especially with how expensive and stressful Alliance War can be at, you know, at the higher levels when people are boosting for almost every fight or every fight. I mean, that's an insane boost. Or I'm sorry, that's an insane bug. That's a just absolutely ridiculous bug. So I was really not happy about that. I did report it to Kabam through the CCP server. I'm not sure if it's faster to do it that way, you know, than doing it through the forums. Who knows, man? But I was just not happy about that. All right, so here in this fight, you know, again, I probably don't need to use any specials because I'm just losing 5% of my health from recoil. Of course, I'm using my specials anyway. I thought that this SP1 would kill her. It doesn't. So I'm like, all right, let me just dex this SP1 real quick. And again, I'm trying to minimize the health loss with Apocalypse because this health pool is so huge. And I ended up costing myself like an extra couple potions. Just, you know, silly mistake there. But ultimately, neither of those fights were too stressful. This fight, these next 3 fights, basically, I was pretty stressed about. So I did take this fight in War 1, you guys probably saw. This also is a rank 2, not a rank 3. So, you know, having taken it last war and, you know, I felt really good in that fight. It went way better than I expected it to. So I'm like, all right, this fight should not be a problem. I'm going to save myself some potions here by not healing up, but I am over 80% there. So really, you know, this fight with Apocalypse is just about being patient. And, you know, that's not one of my strong suits. I'm not a patient person by nature. And that does apply to mcoc a lot of times in fights. You know, I'll see like really skilled, top-notch players like Suida and, you know, Legacy and stuff. You know, if the opponent isn't throwing their special, then they'll kind of just be patient, wait it out, do some wall play and all that stuff. And yeah, that is hard for me to do because I have like a compulsion to try to get things moving as quickly as possible. So anyway, I'm really just yapping right now. But yeah, all right, we're gonna push him up to the SP2. And you know, the one good thing about Mole Man here when you're you know, when you're fighting him is his special animations do take a while, which helps with the 7-second Footloose buffs, which do start activation when he activates the special. So anyway, not really a big deal. I mean, this fight it's really not too difficult. I think that really the only cause for concern in this fight is getting cornered when he's unstoppable. And, you know, that is a real thing. You've just got to kind of, you know, be aware of his heavy attack and make sure that if you are cornered, you can dodge his heavy. But all right, I just know I just got to survive one more Footloose here. So I get off the reparry. That was kind of, you know, I started attacking a little bit before Footloose had expired, so that was dangerous. But yeah, get through the fight. All right, so this next fight is Rhino. This is, you know, this is really good placement. This is just a rank 2 Rhino here, but yeah, with Protect, you can't just ghost this guy. So, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm using Apocalypse here, and a lot of Apocalypse's damage, or a decent chunk of his damage from his special attacks, is burst damage, depending on how many debuffs the defender has on them. So I am essentially gonna I'm gonna completely ignore Protect, or I'm sorry, Ebb and Flow Intercept. I'm not gonna intercept this guy at all. I don't really care about that. I'm gonna do enough damage through my debuffs. I know that. So my special 2 can apply the Protect Global, but also it'll knock him down to remove a charge if I do trigger it. So that was a mistake. I threw the SP1 twice in a row. That was a mistake because I had already applied both of those debuffs. I don't know why I did it. And then here, I think I assumed a parry and I didn't have it. And so he got me with an SP1. But, you know, Rhino does not hit hard. And again, Apocalypse is a tanky boy. So not a huge deal. And this is my last Apocalypse fight of the war. So basically, you know, the way to play Rhino, and it's crazy that I feel like I should give advice about how to fight Rhino, but really the way to play Rhino is to get him cornered, and then once he's cornered, try to nail some parries, and a lot of times he's going to throw that SP1 or his SP2 when he's in the corner, and if he throws a heavy, that's all right. You can just back out of it, and attack him. You know, the benefit is obviously that you avoid the risk of him going unblockable on his charge or his medium attacks. So this fight is going pretty slowly at first, but now I've converted all 4 of my debuffs to indefinite debuffs. You guys see that there's no timer on them. Basically, if the defender is afflicted with a debuff and Apocalypse throws his SP3, he'll lock in those debuffs for the rest of the fight, and he'll also increase their potency. So I've got a couple utility debuffs, weakness and concussion, but I've also got poison and degen that are helping me out. And then all 4 of those debuffs are just helping me with extra burst damage from my special attacks, as you guys saw. So, yeah, I mean, Apocalypse is pretty safe here, and even a rank 3 Rhino, I think I probably would have gotten him down in another 30 seconds. So, pretty safe fight. All right, so this fight, you know, I was a little bit worried about, and all right, so I'm just going to preface this by saying, you guys probably know from watching my war videos, when I make mistakes, I tend to make additional mistakes. So they start to avalanche, which is really a bad habit of any Alliance War player. And I don't know if you guys have noticed what's going on here, but since Apocalypse was bleed immune from gaining immunity in his first fight, I never saw that bleed debuff at the start of any of his successive fights. So yeah, I enter this fight, and right when the fight starts, I'm like, holy shit, I forgot to take off suicides. This is incredible. All right, so I do like to run half suicides, bleed only, which is going to probably save my life here. In fact, 100% it's gonna keep me alive. But I do lose 50% of my health just from that one bleed debuff. That just a stupid mistake. So here I'm going to go for the intercept. I get the intercept, and I do get afflicted with the petrify because I didn't have a kinetic charge. So now I'm like, Jesus Christ, I need to get to 10 hits here, and I'm just losing so much health. Oh my God, how am I going to win this fight? This is not looking good. But at this point, I can kind of mentally reset. He does have the protection from ebb and flow. I know that I'm going to have to get that off of him at some point. I just need to play it slow. I need to land parries so that I can get more kinetic charges. There, I mess up. I take an SP1 to the face. Cap is a tank. He glances a lot of hits, and because of my kinetic charges, I automatically purify those because I have Nick Fury on my team for the synergy, and my Captain America is SIG 200. So again, at this point, I'm like, all right, all I have to do is not make any more mistakes. This is definitely doable. I get off the intercept there to get rid of the protection, which is awesome. I need to bait this SP2. I really do not want to die to this fight. So I go for the intercept there. He backs off, which is annoying. I am going to go ahead and push him over his SP1. And ultimately what I want to do is I'm just going to start building up my kinetics here, and if he decides to throw a special, great. He gets to an SP2, which I prefer to evade anyway, and now I can go for the corner intercept, and again, he dexes just before then. So I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. I'm like, all right, let me get one more in. Psych, I don't want to risk it. So I'm like, you know what? I think at this point, he's under 50% health. I'm just going to go ahead and throw my SP3. All right, there I do get off the final intercept. Now I know that all I got to do is throw an SP3. And for whatever reason, I waited one more second to get another parry off, which that was not smart in the moment. But miraculously, I am able to survive that fight. So my worst fight of the season, but our BG cleared with only one death, and that death was to an Apocalypse boss. It was Lizer. I'm not calling her out. You can actually check out that video on her channel. She has been incredible this season, and she was awesome in that fight. She just made a single mistake, and she got exploded. So here are the cards. FaZe, Carl, the Mole God protege of Kung Fu Michael, the OG Mole Beyond God, and Bryn with the Platinum. That is it for the video, guys. Leave a like and a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, please, and if you like the content. If you don't, then don't. But yeah, that's it. I will see you guys in the next one.